Have you ever walked away from a conversation with the unsettling feeling that something wasn't quite right? You agreed to something you didn't fully want, revealed a piece of yourself you hadn't planned to share, or felt a sudden wave of guilt you couldn't explain. And later, as you replayed the moment in your mind, you wondered, was that really my choice? Or did someone plant the idea in me without my awareness? What if I told you this happens more often than you realize? That the most dangerous manipulators don't shout, threaten, or force. They whisper, they pause, they smile at just the right moment. And before you know it, you're moving to their rhythm, not yours. These are not accidents. These are carefully engineered psychological codes, dark strategies designed to slip beneath your conscious guard directly into your instincts and emotions. The truth is, most people will never see these tricks. They'll live their whole lives tugged by invisible strings, thinking they're in control. But once you see the patterns, once you uncover these shadows, you'll notice them everywhere, in the words of a friend, in the silence of a partner, in the promises of a leader, even in the advertisements you scroll past every day. And tonight, I'll show you 7 of the darkest tricks manipulators use. Tactics they don't want you to recognize, because recognition is the one thing that destroys their power. By the end, you'll be able to spot the subtle traps, resist the invisible pulls, and walk away with your mind still your own. The first dark trick is suggestion, the art of planting an idea in your mind while making you believe it was yours all along. Imagine a salesman who doesn't tell you what car you should want, but instead says, most men like you usually go for something that makes them look successful, but stays affordable. I wonder if that's what you're aiming for too. It's just a question. But now, confidence, success, and affordability have merged in your mind. And when you choose that car, you'll feel like you decided freely. In truth, the seed was placed, and you nurtured it yourself. The protection here lies in questioning your impulses. Is this really my thought? Or was it suggested? The second trick is silence. People think persuasion comes from words, but manipulators know the absence of words can be even stronger. Picture an argument where one person suddenly falls quiet, letting the silence stretch painfully long. Your brain scrambles to fill the void. You begin talking more, revealing things, softening your position, even apologizing. Their silence controls you. This works in negotiations, relationships, even friendships. The key defense is to grow comfortable with silence yourself. When you refuse to rush in and fill the gap, the manipulator's tool loses its sharpness. The third trick is mirroring, the subtle imitation of your posture, your tone, even your words. At first, it feels natural. You feel understood, connected, seen, but it's a trap. The manipulator isn't reflecting your soul. They're reflecting your surface, so you'll let your guard down. Imagine meeting someone new who nods exactly when you do, leans forward as you lean forward, echoes your phrases like, "That's interesting," or "I know what you mean." Within minutes, you feel a strange bond, as if you've met a kindred spirit. In truth, they're weaving a web of false familiarity. To counter this, step back and notice. Is the similarity genuine, or is it just too perfect too fast? The fourth trick is gaslighting, the deliberate twisting of your reality until you doubt your own senses. A manipulator may deny events that clearly happened, minimize your emotions, or suggest you're too sensitive or imagining things. Over time, this creates confusion and dependency. You no longer trust yourself, so you rely on them to define reality for you. Picture a partner who hides your keys and later insists you must have misplaced them, repeating it until you question your memory. Or a boss who says they never promised you something, though you recall the conversation vividly. The antidote here is record keeping, notes, texts, small anchors of truth you can revisit. Reality is their battlefield. Your evidence is your shield. The fifth trick is intermittent reinforcement, the same method that keeps gamblers hooked at slot machines. Instead of rewarding you consistently, manipulators give you affection, approval, or kindness unpredictably. One day they praise you, the next they ignore you, then suddenly they shower you with attention again. The unpredictability creates addiction. You keep chasing the next reward. Think of the partner who alternates between coldness and bursts of love, keeping you trapped in cycles of hope and disappointment. The defense: recognize the pattern. Healthy relationships do not thrive on emotional roulette. Consistency is love. Unpredictability is control. The sixth trick is framing, controlling perception before the truth can even surface. If I tell you, don't think of yourself as someone who gives up easily, I've already framed you in the context of giving up. Politicians use this constantly. The real question isn't whether we should do this, but how quickly we should act. They remove your freedom to question the premise by defining the frame in advance. Once your mind accepts the frame, your choices are limited to the manipulator's boundaries. To resist, always ask, who built this frame? And what question am I not being allowed to ask? And the seventh trick, the one many consider the most powerful, is manufactured guilt. Manipulators understand that guilt is one of the strongest motivators of human behavior. They say things like, after all I've done for you, this is how you repay me. Or, I just thought you cared about me more. Suddenly you're not just making a choice, you're defending your morality. You feel compelled to comply, not because the request is fair, but because you want to escape the crushing weight of guilt. To defend yourself, recognize guilt as an alarm bell. Ask, is this guilt arising from my own values, or is it being injected by someone else's agenda? True morality doesn't need to be forced upon you with manipulation. These 7 dark psychology tricks: suggestion, silence, mirroring, gaslighting, intermittent reinforcement, framing, and manufactured guilt, are weapons hidden in plain sight. They operate in conversations, relationships, businesses, and politics every single day. Most people never see them, and that blindness is what keeps them vulnerable. But now, you've pulled back the curtain. You can walk into a negotiation, a conversation, or even a date with sharper eyes. You'll notice when the silence grows heavy, when a compliment feels too convenient, when your guilt seems suspiciously timed. And that awareness alone is power. The mind is a battlefield. Some fight openly, but manipulators fight in shadows, shaping your choices without you realizing it. But now you've learned their codes, their forbidden playbook. The next move is yours. Protect your thoughts, guard your emotions, and never forget, The greatest defense against darkness is knowledge. If you found these hidden truths eye-opening, don't let them fade into the background. Subscribe to this channel, Psyche Mind Codes, because the mind has many more secrets waiting to be uncovered, and each one gives you the strength to live free from invisible control. Stay curious, stay aware, and remember, once you see the strings, no one can ever make you dance against your will again.